it's not often you find a tractor that's made in West Virginia, but Bernie Scott of Cocoa, Florida, you got one, don't you?
I do. It's called a Tiger. And it's a Tiger, believe me, it's a Tiger, all the way. Little lawn tractor, and this particular version is 7 horsepower with a Wisconsin engine electric start. This particular one we found here, actually on this grounds right here about 4 years ago, and then this past winter I put it together, and it turned out to be a pretty good tractor. It runs good, well.
What kind of shape was the Tiger in when you came across it?
Well, there were parts missing, particularly sheet metal, although the hood was complete and intact. And I thought it was kind of neat to have the word Tiger embossed in the sheet metal. And then also it's cast into the front axle, which is overkill for that tractor. It's heavy enough for a compact tractor. And we had to work on the transmission. And the engine wasn't bad, but the transmission was really, really rough. And as a matter of fact, I'll probably replace it at some point. It is a relatively common transmission. It comes from Wheel Horse. Tiger bought their transmissions from Wheel Horse. But we can't find another electric start one. They all had recoil start on them. And I guess most of them didn't want to spend the extra $20 or whatever it was to get the starter generator. So they got the recoil ones. But I'm tickled with it, and I haven't seen another one like it.
The Tiger tractor, how long did that company roar for?
What information we have, maybe 7 or 8 years. I was talking to some people over there. They claimed they made 10,000, but we can't find but about 12 or 15. So somebody's probably stretching the truth a little bit. And they didn't have a dealer network, and these probably sold through hardware stores or feed stores or whatever. And consequently, without a dealer network and a parts network and so forth, it's hard to survive and keep going. And they folded up in the early 60s.
And I know a lot of tractors were built in Indiana and other places like that. West Virginia is not a place that I really think of as a hotbed for lawn and garden tractor building.
I would say you're correct. The company that built them, the name escapes me right now, but they were a machine company. And they took these on and changed the name. They called them by the machine company at first, and then they switched it to Tiger. And as far as odd companies, there were several of them back in the 50s and 60s when people wanted to ride something. If they had a half acre or an acre to drive to mow, they wanted something to ride. And that enabled these companies to start up. But if they didn't have, like I said, the strong dealer network, they didn't survive.
What do you think they got right about the Tiger, though?
Not very much. It's 3-speed, which greatly limits your possibilities. The transmission's really a little too fast in second gear, so that leaves low, and that's too slow. So, you don't have a lot of options. But, it's cute as a collectible, and people like to see different items, and that's what attracted me to it.
What do you think's going on with the lawn and garden tractor hobby? Still going strong, you think?
I think the lawn and garden hobby has as much potential as a big tractor hobby, even more. Because after the late 50s, virtually everybody that lived on a piece of property that wasn't an apartment or a condo or whatever, they had some time on some kind of a lawn tractor. May not have been a rider, but there's a lot of different brands of walk-behinds too. And at some point, people will start collecting those. And there is a magazine, and it's fairly popular. They have quite a subscription rate. And they're not partial to any particular make. The major brands, John Deere, International, Boland's, Wheel Horse, and all that, of course, they get more attention than the rest because there are more of those. But there are a lot of odd brands. I forget what they call them in the big tractors.
Orphans and oddballs?
Yeah, orphans and oddballs.
Or we like the term lesser-known classics.
Okay, that'll work. The lesser-known classics is very, very good. And there's plenty of those in the lawn tractor collecting. And some guys really, that's all they go for. So it's interesting. And it's good doing the research. And today with a computer, there's about nothing you can't find on the computer, something about it, even on a social site.
I know you've got a bush hog, you've got a Panzer, and now the Tiger's part of the collection. Going to stay with you for a long time?
Oh yeah, we'll keep the Tiger around.
So Bernie, tell me your favorite thing about this Tiger.
I guess it's the appearance. It's clean lines. It has a pressed metal hood with nice rounded lines on it. Nothing rectangular about it, although it ended up being obviously a rectangle, but it has rounded corners on it. And the bullet headlights set it off, and the embossed name of the company.
And how sure are you of the colors?
We're completely sure. We took the colors from a spot on the machine. It wasn't painted, ever painted, it was just as it was. And we took the serial plate off, and underneath that was original color on the light part, the body part. And on the chassis, of course we had the transmission fall apart, it was frozen solid, and we had original paint under the brackets on the chassis. So we could match it pretty accurate.
All right, Bernie, thanks for sharing the story of the Tiger.
Hey, thank you. I hope people enjoy it.
Everybody likes a Tiger, and this one's going to continue to roar if Bernie Scott has anything to say about it. Hey, thanks for catching Classic Tractor Fever. If you'd like to see more great garden tractors, be sure to check out these other features. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep those Classic Tractor stories rolling.